welcome back to Forces Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be talking about NXTD. Now this stock has rallied quite a bit in the last day, and then pretty much on the pre-market and then dipped right after. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a quick technical analysis for this one here. I wanted to do a DD on this one just because there's an important thing I want to talk about that we see a lot in these stocks that rally, and I want to help people identify it fairly quickly. So first things first, we're going to look just quickly here. You're going to find that the stock is more around neutral level. Momentum is still at a level, but not that strong. MACD seems to have turned positive. Well, of course, he had a massive jump. The average directional index is a little bit too high for my liking. And the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA. So that's all right for this. We're going to go to 5 days, 1 hour view. You get to see that the price has actually fell down the VWAP. So that's a little bit of something that I wouldn't like to be in at this price. We can see here that the stock price has traded under the trading action zone. So reversals are likely in the trading action zone. Now the 10 SMA is here at this point under the 30 SMA, so that's a little bit of a bad sign. The MACD seems to continue to be negative with no signs of actual this gap between them decreasing. In terms of the momentum, well, this is after market, but it seems that it lost momentum. It seems to be insanely oversold. Well, after this jump, of course, it would be. And you can see that unbalance has gone quite negative. So in my point of view, you can see an unbalance this massive. You can see that it got jumped here with little volume in the pre-market, but that's still extreme volume for pre-market. This kind of almost looks something very familiar to me, and I'll just mention it in a second. Going to the moving averages, we see the stock is trading higher above the moving average. Of course, it's not sitting right now at 0.889. It actually went to 1.52. Going towards the stock here, you get to see that it had a bullish cross over here. Now, whether that's coincidence or it's actually because of the pump, that's something for us to determine. And we can see that it actually was over bought earlier in the day. And what I want to mention on this is a lot of the times you get to see charts coming in like this. And it's not that you missed a train or they cured cancer or anything. But from just around 10 minutes on Twitter and Stock Twists and Reddit, I started realizing that the stock actually been pumped. And looking at pump and dump charts, you can get to see that that kind of movement is very often in pumps and dumps. And a stock that goes 300% overnight, that is considerably dangerous. So what is my expectations for this stock? You might have a dead cat bounce where people think this is the best thing coming in next week. Of course, there's a PR. Usually they don't pump out of nothing. There's also pumping with PR that usually helps the price going up. But from what I see is this stock has had multiple bull flags before. Now, this kind of movement is not usually the best one, so I wouldn't touch it at this point. But if you're stuck in this stock, I do expect it might, there's a possibility where it kind of jumps as a dead cat bounce on Monday with people thinking, oh, this is going to go back to $1.50. It did go on $1.50. And that's kind of basically trading on a little bit of people who are a little bit less experienced than you. So going quickly towards news here, we're gonna be looking quickly into it. So press releases and media coverage, nothing really new except for this one here coming in around I believe it was on the 2nd of July. 30 June here was the time where they meant to announce it, but it takes a couple of days to actually get published. Basically, they had an announcement for one of their products, the Wi-Fi Notify device, which is a personal emergency response system that has been designed in order to provide seniors and families and friends with a peace of mind. For seniors who are living independently and in many cases alone, or in assisted living facilities, the Wi-Fi Notify device will allow them to alert friends and family via text message. So it's basically almost well, it's a really nice system here because it's a wearable pendant, right? So it's only a button. Works nicely, but I don't expect something like this to cause an increase of 300% overnight. So for me, it's still considered for me a pump and dump. So I wouldn't touch it. But let's say perhaps you are stuck in the stock here. What would you consider doing? So I would try to find then the current supports and resistances. So the current support of this would probably be somewhere in the region of 0.404 to 0.5, and then you can average down on this and wait until the next kind of good PR. Now the study is happening in July, so I do expect that there's going to be multiple times where the stock comes out with PRs and people are just gonna run with it. And you can get to see here that it happened before. So I wouldn't sell, but I would definitely consider averaging down if the price goes down to 0.40 to 0.5. But in terms of history, you can get to see that some people really love the stock when it comes to pumping and whatnot, and you can get to see this is actually the movement that happened. And quite often you get to see a little bit of a jump on the day before, sorry, the day after, just because people thinking that it would jump back there. That's been my DD. What do you think about this stock? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like, and have a good day.